Thanks, Faye. Good evening, everyone. Less than 70 hours after the disappointment in Germany, Arsenal turned their attentions back to the Premier League. April was cruel for them last season, and actually the Aston Villa home defeat last weekend certainly brought back painful April memories. But with 6 games to go, victory here at Molineux will at least take them back top for now, and perhaps provide proof that Arsenal are not giving up the title challenge without a fight. They have Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kivior back in after the defeat to Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Ødegaard, Rice and Havertz in a deeper role in midfield. Saka alongside the returning Jesus and Trossard up front. Wolves might well have an influence on the title race. They also have to play Manchester City and Liverpool before the season ends. But the problem is that Gary O'Neill's barely got 11 senior fit players to put out tonight. Sarr is the goalkeeper, Santi Bueno, Kilman and Totti the defenders. Doherty, Doyle, João Gomez, young Tawanda Chirua, his first Wolves start, and Hugo Bueno are the 5 across the middle, with a rare opportunity from the start for Boubacar Traoré in support of Hee Chan Wang up front. No Cunha in the squad for Wolves tonight, and there are 5 teenagers on the Wolves bench. We're off and underway, live on Talk Sport, the place to be for all the twists and turns in the title race. Wolves in the old gold and black, playing from right to left in the first half towards the 2-tiered Stan Cullis end of Molineux, and Arsenal in the familiar red and white, playing from left to right. Arsenal start the evening second in the Premier League. A win will take them above Manchester City, who, as you've heard, are through to another FA Cup final after beating Chelsea. Forward by Ben White for Arsenal. Crossfield to the left and Trossard. First touch, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Back to Kivior, who crosses, and Havertz hooks it goalwards, and Jose Sarr gets down to make a sprawling save, and Arsenal not far off going in front, Danny Mills, inside the first 45 seconds.
Mikel Arteta will have wanted a reaction from his team. Very, very disappointing getting knocked out of the Champions League, and in the way that they did, it didn't really have a go. The team talk's quite easy. Everybody's putting you down. Everybody's talking about you know, you didn't stand up to it, you got knocked out. Go out, make a statement, and show everybody, you know, why we are up there and challenging for the Premier League title. Start well, play well. Great tackle that.
It looked firm but fair from Totti. Gary O'Neill can't believe it. Rages at the fourth official. It looked like Totti had got to the ball ahead of Bukayo Saka. Perhaps it was because the challenge was from behind. Paul Tierney gives Arsenal a free kick in the right back position. Anything wrong with that, Danny? You had your fair tussles with Arsenal over the years, didn't you?
And Wolves, to be fair. I thought it was all right. I thought he comes in, he nicks the ball. There's going to be collisions at times. It's still a contact sport. You know, he gets to the ball first. You can't just stop. You know, he's closing Bukayo Saka down. Well, you can't just say, OK, sorry, I'll let you have the ball after you.
Here come Arsenal with Havertz putting it up the near side, the right. Ødegaard is sandwiched in between 2 old gold shirts. Traoré tussling to win it back for Wolves, and then it's rolled back to the feet of goalkeeper Jose Sarr by Tommy Doyle. A spirited first couple of minutes from Wolves, despite being so depleted as they are. We mentioned the teenagers on the bench, among them the 15-year-old Wes Okodua, who is still a schoolboy and is on the bench against the team in Arsenal, who are hoping to bid for a first Premier League title in 20 years. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. Live and exclusive on Talk Sport, with lovely blue skies up ahead and the setting sun in the distance. Relatively mild for Molineux, which often seems to have its own microclimate. It can get very cold here, and well, Arsenal have possession.
Which is more of a concern, Jokes. I think it's got 4 Wolves players I can see wearing gloves.
Yeah, that's it.
Not quite sure what weather they're expecting, but the sun's out at the moment.
It's not freezing yet, is it? Arsenal have possession on the halfway line with Saliba. So how will Arsenal respond? No win in 3, out of the Champions League, beaten by Aston Villa in the Premier League last weekend after a wonder start to 2024 in the top flight. Wolves have been resurgent this season under Gary O'Neill, but their form has fallen away in recent weeks, in part due to the sheer number of injuries that they've had. Arteta and O'Neill inside their respective technical areas. Arsenal with Saka on the attack. Right wing position, shapes infield onto his left side, then Ødegaard tried to push it forward to the underlapping run of Ben White. Good interception by Hugo Bueno for Wolves, and it's given away by young Chirua, making his first ever Wolves start in the centre of midfield. 20 years of age. It's a very youthful Wolves squad that Gary O'Neill has in some ways been forced to field tonight. Arsenal 0, Wolves 0. Good noise at Molineux, which is virtually full, aside from a handful of empty seats dotted here and there. Arsenal win it back through Gabriel Jesus, 25 yards out, low shot, and he'll drag that wide of goal.
But I think what you have to say about Wolves, because they've done so well this season, because the manager has been absolutely exceptional in the way that his team has played and the points they've got on the board. Yes, they are maybe struggling with injuries at the moment, but he can afford that luxury now to give young players an opportunity because they're safe. They are in, mid-table security. They're not going to get in Europe, they're not going to go down. They're in a nice place. So actually it gives him a little bit of freedom to blood some of these youngsters, to see what he's got for next season.
Already got more wins, points and goals than in the entirety of last season, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Testament to the job done by Gary O'Neill. And they've started relatively brightly here against Arsenal, who need a win to go back top of the Premier League. What a day we've had across the TalkSport network. Leicester beat West Brom to go back top of the Championship in our live commentary earlier. There was a crucial win for Burnley, thumping win at Sheffield United on TalkSport 2. Burnley not out of the relegation scrap just yet, though Sheffield United are surely down, and at 5:15 Manchester City scored a late goal to beat Chelsea by a goal to 0 at Wembley to go through to the FA Cup final. And Coventry will meet Manchester United tomorrow at the National Stadium, again live on TalkSport. Foul now on Gabriel by the retreating Wang, and a free kick to Arsenal just inside opposition territory, away on the far side the left.
I think it was just a coming together. I think Wang is just trying to get in front of him. Again, it's just a collision. I think his shoulder catches him in the face. I think that's just a difference in height of the two players. It's a coming together, not much more than that.
Well, they are relieved to have Hee-Chan Wang back in the side tonight, Wolves. He has missed matches of late as well, only came back off the bench against Nottingham Forest last weekend. Wolves have had a greater amount of recovery time than Arsenal, but Arsenal, aside from Jurrien Timber, who is back in training, have got everybody fit. Here's Gabriel to the left of centre, midway inside his own half the field. Quick ball forward to Trossard, who scampers infield and plays a square pass to William Saliba. Again, just shy of the centre circle. Saliba to White in the right back position. Quickly wide to Saka on the near side of the field. Regrets, I'm sure, there were more than a few for Arsenal after Champions League disappointments at Bayern Munich in midweek, but Mikel Arteta has stressed they just have to move on quickly. There's so much still to play for. Lovely ball in field from the left-hand side from Trossard, but not quite accurate enough to pick out Gabriel Jesus, who'd made a run into the penalty area, and it's through to the Wolves goalkeeper, all in green, Jose Sarr. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0 on TalkSport.
It's all about being realistic for Arsenal as well. I mean, did we really expect them to go and win the Champions League? Well, probably not is the answer. They certainly weren't favourites. They weren't second favourites, within that. So the chances are they were going to lose in the Champions League at some point. So Mikel Arteta's right. Okay, the way that they went out is a little bit disappointing, but it always is when you go out. You're always disappointed with something, and he's right. So they've just got to bounce back, and like I said, it's got to put pressure on Manchester City.
They will rise back to the summit with a win here at Molineux. Saliba back to David Raya, all in bright blue away to the left-hand side. The Arsenal fans are on the far side of the field unusually, the lower tier of the Steve Bull stand. We're in the main stand opposite, just to the right of Gary O'Neill's technical area, about 20-30 feet from the front of the edge of the touchline here. Quite a gap between the edge of the pitch and the stands. Arsenal have possession now with Trossard just outside the centre circle. Angles the ball to the right and Saka, and he's one-on-one with Totti, who's isolated here. Saka dribbles down the near side to right. He slips but manages to poke the ball back with his left foot into the path of White. Now Rice in a very congested area midway inside the Wolves half. Kivior quickly left to the far side, and Gabriel Jesus, early ball towards the near post, and Trossard, who'd made an intelligent run, header away by Santi Bueno, out to play for an Arsenal throw deep inside the Wolves half.
Having just watched Manchester City versus Chelsea, and we talked about the way that Manchester City play, you can tell that Mikel Arteta has learnt an awful lot from Pep, and in the way that he's trying to play, the way that he's setting up their team, the way they try not to get in each other's way. They try and keep a little 10-yard space each on the pitch. They're very spread out at the moment. The wide players stay wide to stretch the pitch. Odegaard drops in, to one little position. Trossard comes into a position. They all just look at that. Look, they're all spread out almost perfectly. That's exactly the sort of thing that we see Manchester City do. And this team is growing. It took Manchester City a long time to develop into the team that they are now, and it will take Arsenal a bit more time to do that.
Danny Mills is with us for commentary, and Mikel Arteta has taken Arsenal to almost the brink of the title. Here is Havertz midway inside Wolves territory, square ball to Kivior on the overlap wide to the left-hand side, and Trossard. Quick pace to this attack from Arsenal. 0-0 the score, dead ball line. Trossard's high delivery, Saka at the far post, and it's clawed out of the space by Jose Sarr, who leapt highest and clutches it in his chest. The goalkeeper, still 0-0.
Did well at the back post. Bukayo Saka, not really his forte, I would suggest. He's not really Alan Shearer at the back post, is he? Powering it back across into that far corner, but did well enough to get up and nod it back towards goal.
Enjoying the best scoring season of his career so far, Bukayo Saka. 18 in all competitions. Now then, Chirua with a lovely crossfield ball for Wolves. First start for the club this evening, and it's the former Tottenham man, Matt Doherty. Another of those players with gloves on, Danny.
Should be subbed immediately.
Into the centre circle where Traore is waiting on the halfway line.
Gloves and cutting holes in your socks should be taken off.
I see.
Should be illegal.
Yes, that's a trend that's emerged in the Premier League over the last couple of years.
That's exactly what it is. It's a trend. There is no physiological benefit. There's no physiological benefit to doing that at all.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. Wolves in possession with Kilman.
I'm sure there's loads of mums out there now, and dads and whatever, thanking me for kids not now cutting holes in their socks.
Number of new pairs that have had to be bought in club shops as Arsenal win a free kick in their right back position. Quite a low-key start to the game. As I say, there are 1 or 2 empty seats in the home sections of Molineux. The atmosphere was good at the start, but a little more sedate now. Arsenal have had most of the possession so far, but Wolves are, as you expect under Gary O'Neill, always competing whatever the situation. Forward by White towards the halfway line, and Saka back to White in that right back position again. Now Saliba, very calm on the ball, great poise from Saliba to wriggle away from Chirua and find White, who pokes it forward to the halfway line to Ødegaard, the captain. Ødegaard looked like he was fouled by his opposite number, João Gomez. Referee says no. Wolves are on the counter, albeit as I say that, Chirua checks back and finds Traore at the base of the midfield, right on the halfway line. Now Tommy Doyle on loan from Manchester City. Forward down the middle towards Wang, who is very much a lone striker tonight. It's like a 3-5-1-1 for Wolves, with Gomez and Chirua perhaps alternating in terms of who plays furthest forward in support of Wang. And given how mean this Arsenal defence is away from home of late, this remarkable record they've had in the Premier League without conceding a goal, it may be tough for Wolves to carve out clear opportunities tonight in the game, Dan.
Yeah, they're not the biggest goal scorers themselves, are they? But they've just got to be patient. They've just got to keep working, keep probing, keep their own concentration. Got to defend well, got to stay in the game.
They have a free kick, and Doyle has shuffled the ball wide to the right, and Doherty led with the edge of the 18-yard area. Goalless on TalkSport, with yet more live football to come tomorrow. The second of the FA Cup semi-finals, Manchester United against Coventry City of the Championship. Mark Robbins, the Coventry manager, going up against his old team at Wembley. And on Sunday lunchtime, 12:30, Blackburn against Sheffield Wednesday is a massive game in the Championship relegation battle, and that is live on TalkSport 2. Likewise, Monday night in the promotion race, Middlesbrough up against Leeds United, after Leicester went back top of the Championship today against West Brom. TalkSport Network, your home of the EFL.
And then, of course, next week, you've got League One and League Two, the conclusion of that, obviously a week earlier. I mean, which at the moment, obviously the title's wrapped up in League One, but playoffs, who's going to join Portsmouth is still in the mix, the playoffs is still in the mix, it's all who's going to go down is still in the mix. It's crazy.
Here come Arsenal, Kivior left wing position, low ball into the area, not a good one, steered away by Kilman into touch to a throw. I was going to say, Danny, you can take over, if you like. You're very good with all of those plugs.
Well, just doing my job. Just been a company man.
Here's Saliba in the centre circle for Arsenal. A lovely early evening here at Molineux in the West Midlands. Now Rice for Arsenal. Glides away from Chirua. Square ball to White. Everybody back behind the ball here for Wolves in the old gold shirts. Arsenal from left to right in the first half. White 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area, though the way that Wolves are working off the ball in terms of their shape, 10 yards from the edge of the box, feels like double, treble that at the moment for Arsenal, who perhaps have to find that refinement in their play, move the ball a little quicker in that final third, and they've done just that now to break between the lines, and Ødegaard on the halfway line will steer it wide to Saka on the near side, the right. Ben White is down for Arsenal, but they continue in possession with Saka on the corner of the penalty area. Infield to Rice. Rice on the edge of the D. Can he get the shot away? Pokes it to the left, and Trossard into the penalty area now. Back to Declan Rice, low through a crowd, and there's not enough power behind that, and it's easily gathered by Jose Sa.
This is what Arsenal have to do. They have to get the ball out wide early to Bukayo Saka. There's no point giving him the ball where he's got a defender tight up behind him. What can he do? All he can do is pass it backwards to either Declan Rice in the middle of the park or Ben White. Need to get the ball out to him quickly so he can get on the half turn and he can run at his fullback. That's where he's most dangerous.
Elsewhere in the Premier League today, Brentford 5-1 winners at Luton, and Sheffield United 1, Burnley 4. In League One, Fleetwood and Port Vale have been relegated. Sutton on the brink of the drop in League Two. Header away by Rice for Arsenal, dropping to the midway point of his own half, and now White takes over. Robbed the possession by Chirua, but quickly Saka's there to whip it off his toes, and Arsenal, very calm, have the ball back again. A draw not enough for Arsenal to go top of the Premier League tonight. They have to win to leapfrog Manchester City, a City who don't play their next game until next Thursday in the league. Headed by Havertz, chested down by Jesus to Ødegaard with a strike from the edge of the box under pressure from Santi Bueno, and as you can tell from the ironic cheers, it was well wide from Ødegaard.
Yeah, I think Bueno just gets a toe on it as he swings his leg backwards.
Yep.
And as that happens, there you go, look, it ends up going about 30 yards wide, but I don't think, there you go, look, you just see it on the replay there, there's a tiny little toe. He's already made his swinging movement, and because obviously the follow through, ball goes well wide, not necessarily Ødegaard's fault.
Here's Totti, left-sided centre-half for Wolves. He's 10 yards shy of the halfway line. He's battling now with Saka. Shouts of Wolves fans who are very close to us in the commentary position, a great old ground, Molineux. And Jose Sa, the goalkeeper, forward to Doyle on the edge of the penalty area. Doyle steers the ball to the right wing back position and Doherty, and Doyle gets another pass on the edge of his own penalty area from Santi Bueno this time. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. 16 minutes gone on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Wolves against Arsenal live right now, contract free, with a Now membership. Search Now Sports as Totti plays the ball back to Kilman again, and Wolves are protecting their goalkeeper Jose Sa relatively well early on here.
Yeah, you're right about this being an old ground. Is that old? I played here. I think it was 1995 I played here.
Now, was that for Charlton?
That was for Norwich. I tell you, Steve Bull played up front. Ewan Roberts, I think, played up front with no teeth. He's got teeth now, I don't know where they came from. And John DeWolf, if you remember him, possibly the scariest three players I've ever played him as an 18-year-old.
Wolves have nearly given it away. Kilman plays it forward, but Jose Sa is able to gather. Yes, Steve Bull, who's got a stand named after him here at Molineux, a great Wolves legend of the past. And good noise now from the home supporters. It's a bit of a stalemate in the middle of the park right now. Arsenal unable to get beyond Wolves, who are holding firm but not really having any attacking threat of their own. Doherty, though, has got away from Kivior. Corner of the area, forward to Wang, who slides in under great pressure from the corner of the six-yard box. He couldn't cut it back across. He lost his footing. Worryingly, a little more worryingly there for Arsenal, as the ball went through to David Raya. Kivior completely caught flat-footed by Doherty.
It just seems sometimes that players are reluctant, hesitant, scared to shoot at times. I mean, Doherty's he's into the box. He's 15 yards from goal, and he's trying to play a very clever little pass for a player almost running away from goal. Just let fly sometimes, strike it hard, hit the target, keeper saves it, get a rebound, someone gets a tap in.
Doesn't score many, Matt Doherty. But that has really got the Wolves fans energised here. Wolves really with nothing realistically to play for, winless in their last 4 in the Premier League. Arsenal gunning for the title. That's all they've got to play for this season, of course, Mikel Arteta's team, though it's been another tremendous effort from Arsenal up to this point. Jesus back to David Raya, the goalkeeper. And Jesus has dropped into the right back position here. Feeds Raya again. Havertz is now alternating with Jesus in that sort of central striking role. Arsenal with Rice, corner of his own box, and now he's steaming forward at great pace towards the halfway line. He's carried the ball into Wolves territory here, Declan Rice. It's an excellent run, eating up the ground. Wide to the near side in Jesus. Havertz lurking in the middle for a cross. Jesus shapes to cut infield, dinks the ball high towards Trossard, and it could reach Kivior back post after a couple of deflections off Wolves shirts. Now it's with Trossard again, corner of the penalty area, 0-0. Back it goes to Ødegaard, touches it onto Havertz, angle is tight, back to Trossard, and Trossard lays it to the edge of the area. Declan Rice, who steers it just a couple of yards beyond the far post. Excellent football from Arsenal, and in the end Rice unable to hit the target. 0-0.
Really good football, kept the ball moving, very Manchester City-esque, popping it around, comes back, pops it to the edge of the box, and he tries to be really precise and side foot it into the corner, misses the post by a couple of feet. Really good effort.
Excellent intricate play from Arsenal, whose next game against Chelsea on Tuesday night is live and exclusive with us on TalkSport. In fact, you won't miss a kick of the Premier League in midweek with the TalkSport network, including Everton against Liverpool and Manchester United against Sheffield United on Wednesday night, among our matches. Wolves have the ball now with Doherty. Sky's getting a little darker here and the floodlights becoming more prominent, but it remains a pleasant spring evening. Doherty is midway inside the Arsenal half. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. He's looking for options from the throw. Quite cagey at times the first 20 minutes. Now Kilman midway inside his own half of the field. To Totti, the left-sided centre-half. And now Hugo Bueno. Ball forward towards the halfway line, and Chirua, who's having to try and outmuscle William Saliba, eventually holds him off but has to go back to Totti under pressure. Kilman now to the feet of Jose Sarr. First time, right-footed clearance, hangs up in the air towards the halfway line, and Wang can't get beyond Gabriel. Saliba lobs the ball forward, a cushion header flicked forward by Saka, but Kilman's there to sweep it away easily for Wolves. Now Wang on the halfway line. Wolves, you can feel, growing in belief and confidence here, and they have taken some scalps at Molineux this season, including that of Manchester City back in the autumn. Here's Chirua, and he's given it away straight to Saliba. Arsenal will remain calm, and Arteta actually just gesturing for calm, all in black inside his technical area, Mikel Arteta. But Wolves are putting up a good fight so far. Danny Mills alongside them.
Yeah, they're organised. They've clearly got a way of playing. Gary O'Neill's done a really good job with that. They're going to have to ride their luck at times, player for player. Pretty much Arsenal are better throughout, so they're going to have to be more organised. They can't be maybe quite as ambitious as they would like to be, but you have to find a different way of getting the result sometimes when the opposition is better than you.
Here is Chirua wearing number 62. Square ball to Traore, bursting over the halfway line. His first Premier League start since the reverse fixture, won by Arsenal back over the winter period, the 2nd of December. Now Kilman, noise from the Wolves supporters again as Doyle collects the ball. Deepest line midfield player, midway inside his own half, a long way from the halfway line even. Doherty for Wolves gets the ball from João Gomez. Far side the Wolves right, back to the safety of the midway point of Wolves territory, and Doyle again. Wolves playing from right to left towards the Stan Cullis end in the first half, that two-tiered end with a big looming roof behind the goal. Wolves fans at either end of the stadium. Kilman, very tall centre-half, gets it back from Totti again. Wolves, who are hoping to avoid 3 straight home defeats, it would be, for the first time since 2021 tonight. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. João Gomez, just inside opposition territory. We are near enough midway through the opening half, and it's half of very few, if any, clear-cut chances today. Probably Declan Rice with that snapshot, that low snapshot from the edge of the box, as close as either team have come, and Wolves haven't really threatened at all yet. Wang Red boots on. Little 1-2 with Chirua. Chirua on the edge of the penalty area. Deflected curler. And it's easy in the end for David Raya. Whatever sting there was on the shot was taken out of it by the deflection off Declan Rice, and it's a very easy gather for Raya.
But I'd much rather that. I'd much rather a player get the ball out of his feet, half a yard, have a shot. Why not? That's what you need to do. Cliche, old adage, whatever you want to call it. You don't shoot, you don't score. Simple.
So Manchester City would still lead the Premier League as it stands, 73 points from 32 played. Arsenal, it would be 72 from 33. So Arsenal would have played a game more. Liverpool in action away at Fulham in the Premier League tomorrow. Liverpool 71 points from 32 played. A long way still to go in the game. We've had 24 minutes and Wolves have possession. We'll keep you up to date, of course, with the game at Craven Cottage and the rest of the Premier League action tomorrow on TalkSport amid our Coventry against Manchester United FA Cup semi-final commentary. Manchester City 1-0 winners over Chelsea at Wembley in the first of the semi-finals earlier today. Bernardo Silva with a late winner in what was a controversial game. Chelsea felt that there were a couple of key decisions that didn't go their way. Kivior inside the centre circle, slow Kivior on the ball, robbed of possession by Doherty, whose touch was then clumsy and heavy, and that allowed Ødegaard to just streak across and win it back easily for Arsenal. Arsenal are so peerless in 2024 in the Premier League, particularly defensively, up until that Aston Villa defeat last weekend.
Defence is so important in whatever team you play in. You don't win anything without a great defence. You've got to be very, very solid. Look at what Real Madrid did to Manchester City. Okay, they rode their luck at times.
As Rice flicks a lovely ball over the top to Bukayo Saka, who steers it back across. It's come back to Saka in the area, misses his kick. Ødegaard on the rebound, real scramble in front of Martin Ødegaard, and he couldn't get it under control. In and around the penalty spot, Wolves smuggled it away. That chance came almost out of nothing. Saka had two half chances, and then Ødegaard was surrounded by Wolves players and wasn't able to pull the trigger left-footed. Arsenal had possession back inside the Wolves half 0-0.
Just hesitated, was through on goal. Sometimes when you see the goal, you see the goalkeeper, you just got to shoot. You've got to hit the target. Often catch the goalkeeper by surprise when he's not set.
It's Arsenal again with Ødegaard. Lovely reverse ball to the right. Ben White crosses, missed by Trossard. Swung at it, got the faintest of touches, but effectively missed his kick. And the rebound didn't fall fortunately enough for Kai Havertz, who was just behind him.
Swing and a miss. Hit his standing foot, didn't it? Great opportunity though.
Arsenal will come again. Arsenal fans in full voice now on the far side of the field, the lower tier. Havertz has the ball. Corner of the penalty area. Flurry of those old gold shirts, the Wolves players in front of him, littering the edge of the penalty area, and now it's Wang tracking back, and it's an Arsenal throw led with the edge of the 18-yard box. Quickly taken by White, and a cushioned header by Havertz back to Saka. Saka right wing position, rolls the ball back 20 yards to William Saliba and square and infield to Gabriel. The two centre halves exchange passes again. White on the near side of the field, boos and whistles from the home supporters here. Lovely way to pass by White. Saka crosses and it's cleared away at the near post by Santi Bueno, coming across on the cover with Trossard making a late darting run. Much better this from Arsenal in the 27th minute. Territorially they're absolutely dominant all of a sudden. Wolves are camped on the edge of their own penalty area. Can they break them down, Arsenal, here though? Gabriel midway inside the Wolves half. Everybody bar David Raya deep into Wolves territory now. Saliba out to the near side and White. Very few pockets of space here for Mikel Arteta's team. Saliba over the top, overhit towards the underlapping run of White. It's out of play and it's Wolves 0, Arsenal 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. What have you made of it? Former England defender Danny Mills.
Well, it's been intriguing, I think, up until now. Wolves have sat in, defended well, denied Arsenal an awful lot of space. Arsenal are going to have to be patient because it's very much the way that Manchester City play. They're not quite good individually, every single player, but it's that slow, patient build-up, popping it, trying to find the player in pockets, trying to find the overload. trying to let somebody switch off from concentration and you can get in behind them. It's patient. It's not swinging balls into the box. It's not whipping crosses in, for headers or whatever it might be. It's patient, and Mikel Arteta and Arsenal are fully aware of that. They understand that they might not score in the first 60 minutes of the game.
Good flick headed down the right by Doherty for Wolves, and João Gomes is bundled over by a retreating Trossard, who is going to be yellow carded for that foul, and a free kick to Wolves midway into Arsenal territory.
Yeah, he's got to be careful as well what he says. He's all over him, isn't he? There's not one particular foul in there. There's about 6 little ones. He grabs his shoulder, then he grabs his arm, gives him a little trip. I think that was the totted up process that we're going to give that foul.
Well, Gomez was away, wasn't he? And I think that's why you're right, Danny. Full T, and he had to give the yellow card. So can Wolves threaten from a set play here? Arsenal, who have now gone more than 475 minutes without conceding an away goal in the Premier League. Some run, it has to end at some point. Tommy Doyle with the free kick for Wolves, high into the area, headed away by Declan Rice. It'll drop at the back post now for Doherty. Doherty plays it backwards to Traoré, whips the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, right-footed, not a great deal of height behind it, stooping to head clear was Saliba for Arsenal, and then Rice hooks the ball over his shoulder, over into Wolves territory, and Hugo Bueno will have to roll the ball back to goalkeeper Sarr, under just token pressure from Kai Havertz. Nearly half an hour gone. Sarr raking high ball upfield. On the retreat, backpedaling is Gabriel, and Kivior has lost out to João Gomes, right at the edge of the area. Angle is against him, he's still going! Raya tips that onto the woodwork. Excellent save from the goalkeeper. Arsenal scrambled it clear. Kivior all over the place in that left back position again, and David Raya is goalkeeper, and the woodwork have bailed him out. And now Arsenal on the counter, maybe with Ødegaard, blocked off by Doyle. Free kick to Arsenal. Wolves so close to an opening goal. 0-0 on TalkSport.
Fabulous break down the right hand side. You're right, Kivior all over the place. 2 or 3 times now he's been caught out. Is it like, what a save from David Raya. It is absolutely lashed at him from point blank range. He's got about 2 yards to react to this. Tips it onto the post. How often do we see those fly into the roof of the net high in the near post? And we all say, goalkeeper should never get beaten at his near post, but it's just sheer power. But his reaction to throw up his left hand and tip it onto the post is absolutely magnificent.
Well, we've got monitors in our commentary positions, haven't we, Danny? And you're absolutely right. The speed of reactions, totally instinctive from David Raya. And it was such a fierce drive from João Gomes. The goalkeeper seemed to have a millisecond to react, and he did brilliantly.
Well, he's less than 5 yards away, and he's probably hit that at 60, 70 plus miles an hour. To react that quickly, throw up that left hand, tip it onto the post is a brilliant save.
Not the best chance of the game so far. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. This is a depleted Wolves side. Certainly not a first choice 11 for Gary O'Neill. No Cunha, Nouri and Sarabia are both on the bench. No Pedro Neto. Craig Dawson's just had groin surgery, so he's not available either. Forward by White, lovely pass, floated over the top towards Saka. Saka controls, corner of the penalty area, back to goal, held up by Totti, surely being fouled by Totti. The assistant flags, Saka's somehow held onto it, eventually he goes down, yellow card for Totti, Arsenal free kick, right hand corner of the penalty area.
It wasn't quite like Chiellini on him, was it? But it wasn't far off. He had hold of his shirt, then he had hold of his waist, then got hold of his shoulders, wrestled him to the floor. You're thinking, come on, ref, got to give him a foul at some point.
Mikel Arteta in conversation with his assistant, one of his assistants, Albert Stauvenberg, on the near side of the field. And Arsenal have a free kick now of their own in a dangerous position. About 5 yards from the corner of the box. Now I can see Gabriel is in the penalty area here. Saliba has joined him for Arsenal, and Kivior is there too. Havertz lurking. There's quite a bit of aerial ability in the Arsenal side. Martin Ødegaard, hands on hips, the captain, stands over it on a night when Arsenal need to win to go back top of the Premier League table. 4 in a row for Arsenal on the edge of the 6-yard line almost here. Ødegaard stopped short with his first attempt to whip it in. He's going to take 2 effectively here. Ødegaard's left-footed delivery, good header away at the near post by Doherty. Ødegaard then sets up Saka, right-hand edge of the area, back to Martin Ødegaard again, thought about a shot from 30 yards, thought better of it, plays it square to Kivior. Now Gabriel Jesus to Kivior again. Kivior dinks it over the top towards the run of Jesus, sprints into the penalty area, got a touch on it, but can't keep it in. Goal kick to Wolves, who continue to defend well.
It's a great little dink over the top from Kivior. Why Jesus didn't hit that with his left foot? He's tried to bring it down the outside of his right foot, but even if he does, he's so close to the touchline, he's got no chance of keeping it in. Again, that's sometimes he's going to fire that across the goal. Okay, it might not look pretty, but drive it across, you might get a deflection, one of your own players might get a little touch and tap it in. You've got all sorts can happen.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 0 it remains. Betfair has the latest odds, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. I'll give you those odds in just a moment. Havertz appeals for handball from the Wolves supporters. Wolves prod it clear anyway, high towards the centre circle. Arsenal have it back with Ben White. Wolves are 10-1 to win the game. The draw 7-2. Arsenal are 3-1 on to get all 3 points. Here come Arsenal again now with Ødegaard, right of centre, wide to Saka, corner of the penalty area, taking on Totti. Saka looking menacing, dead ball line, crosses with his weaker right foot, shown onto that right side by Totti, who did well backpedaling. Wolves are going to clear it. Havertz has gone down. Wolves want to play on, as do their supporters. Havertz still down, holding his face, and now Wolves break over the halfway line. Rice slides in, commits a foul on Hugo Bueno. Rice furious with the referee. He's just been booked, and there's another yellow card out of the pocket of the referee too.
It's for Kilman. It's for the first challenge, and I'm going to say that's ridiculous refereeing, because Kilman comes in, he takes out Havertz.
Then it should be a free kick.
He's played on, but Havertz is down injured, and he's clearly in some pain. So the referee knows.
Terrible challenge from Kilman.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The referee knows that that's a foul. He's played on. The moment the ball stops, the referee should stop the game and get treatment for the player. The first thought has to be the welfare of the player. That could well be a serious injury. And what happens is, because Wolves play on and they don't kick the ball out and the referee hasn't stopped the game, Declan Rice takes matters into his own hands, commits a foul to stop the game because he's frustrated, and then the referee books him. So that's really poor game management from the referee. And he's supposed to be an experienced referee.
Danny Mills is with us here tonight. Havertz is being treated out on the field of play. You're absolutely right though, Danny. At what stage should Paul Tierney have stopped the game? Because there was no real advantage for Arsenal, was there?
Moment Arsenal lost the ball. The moment Arsenal lose the ball, if you want to play on, that's fine. But the moment Arsenal lose it, give the foul.
And we gave you those match odds just a few moments ago. Betfair paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout applies to match odds, 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. That is all thanks to Betfair. 18 plus, biggambleaware.org. Havertz gets to his feet. Word in the ear of the referee, Tierney. Likewise, Declan Rice. There's a thumbs up from Mikel Arteta towards Kai Havertz. I don't think Havertz has seen that. Checking whether he's okay. Havertz trudges towards the near side touchline, and Arsenal will be temporarily down to 10, if only for a couple of seconds, as Wolves prepare to hoist the ball downfield from this free kick on the halfway line.
This is where it's ridiculous, isn't it? You've got a player that's been booked for a crude challenge,
and he's gone up the other end to try and score.
Exactly, and the player that's been injured is off the pitch.
Thumped forward by Doyle, high towards the far side, the Wolves right, glancing touch from Doherty, under pressure from Trossard. That's going to skew out of play. Arsenal throw left back position. Havertz is still waiting to come back on. You're so right, Danny, because Arsenal have suffered it's almost like a penalised twice.
There used to be a rule that if the player got booked, you didn't have to leave the field of play. No.
Given away by Saliba, straight to Hugo Bueno into the box, and he's got it all wrong. Under pressure from Saliba, no corner given by the referee, as Havertz now does come back on. Hugo Bueno, who scored recently in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup against Coventry, a game that Wolves lost very late on, had a sight of goal in his favoured side, but Saliba charging towards him did just enough to put him off. Tight game, 37.5 minutes, Wolves 0, Arsenal 0, so Arsenal would miss the chance to go back top.
Well, Wolves had a couple of great chances as well. Saliba giving that ball away right in the middle of the goal, just snatched his shot and pulled it well wide.
Forward by Doyle for Wolves, down the far side, the right again. Gabriel comes across to scoop the ball high to the halfway line. And some darker clouds overhead now. Arsenal have the ball with Havertz, flicks it forward delicately, up the left hand side now towards Trossard. Gabriel Jesus is bursting into the box. It's Trossard's ball. It's a terrible ball, straight into the gloves of Sarr. Jesus had made a brilliant run. Saka was back post as well, Danny, but Trossard couldn't get even close to finding either of them.
No, I've seen him do that a few times with the outside of his foot, and it's been a magnificent cross. That one just got too close to the goalkeeper, no bend on it whatsoever. But just going back to the booking situation, it used to be the rule that if you got booked, you didn't have to go off the pitch. Why they got rid of that, I do not know, because if it's a bad enough foul for a booking, clearly the player's not wasting time by staying down for an injury.
Well, there's a Wolves player down, I think it's João Gomez, just to the right of the centre circle as we look at it, arm up into the air.
Yeah, normally that means that player is not in a good way.
And Max Kilman is going to put it out of play, and the last thing that Gary O'Neill wants is yet more additions to his injury list. A couple more home games to come after this for Wolves. Bournemouth against Luton. They have to play Manchester City and Liverpool away in 2 of their last 3 matches to Wolverhampton Wanderers, as João Gomez gets to his feet. Arsenal, who have Chelsea at home on Tuesday, live on TalkSport, Tottenham away, Bournemouth at home, Manchester United away, and Everton on the final day. All of those to come after tonight. And of course TalkSport, the place to be for the title race.
It's a tough run in that, isn't it? It's not an easy run in.
Well, it could well come down to the North London derby.
But when you're going to have to win every single game from now until the end of the season. There are some really difficult fixtures in there for Arsenal.
It's going to be a fantastic end to the campaign, and don't rule out Liverpool necessarily yet either. After their European disappointment in the week, only they now have the Premier League to play for, as well as the League Cup, which was won by Jurgen Klopp. Cross to a ball by Doyle for Wolves, out to the right, and Doherty there charging forward in support in Old Gold. Doherty shepherded backwards towards the halfway line. Good work by Kivior this time. Doyle midway inside the Arsenal half, square pass to Santi Bueno, further wide to his right is Doherty, looks for the underlapping run of Santi Bueno again. Good work defensively by Trossard this time, by the corner flag. He rattles the ball off the shins of the Uruguayan defender Santi Bueno, and it's out of play for a goal kick to Arsenal. And David Raya, who has really produced the one outstanding moment in the nearly 41 minutes that we've seen so far, with that wonderful save from João Gomez.
Yeah, the game's been pretty even. Arsenal maybe had a little bit more territory earlier on, but Wolves has just started to come back into it. Both teams had 2 or 3 half chances, in the game. But you're right, that outstanding save from David Raya is the standout moment.
Some Wolves fans rather, heading for the concourses ahead of half-time. Arsenal looking for the lead. 4 minutes of normal time to go in the first half. Saka walking pace back to Saliba, 10 yards into opposition territory now. Wide to Saka again on the near side, the Arsenal right. Arsenal have had 2/3 of the possession in the first half, but haven't created all that much with it as yet. Just days after the disappointment in Germany in the Champions League. Ødegaard is felled by Traore, but it was a firm and fair challenge from Traore. Forward to the halfway line for Wolves and Gomez. Gomez tucks it to his immediate right, and Wang is now dropping into the right back position under pressure from Kai Havertz. He's lost possession, and Havertz is adjudged to have fouled Wang. He's gone down now, and it's a Wolves free kick in what is turning into a slightly disjointed end to the first half, Danny.
Not convinced there was too much in that as well. Wang got himself into all sorts of trouble and then just appeared to fall over.
Again, having seen that on the little monitor we've got in the commentary position, the luxury of the monitor, I think you're absolutely right. Here is Sarr for Wolves, the goalkeeper. Square pass to Kilman. They are in a dangerous situation here, Wolves, having to try and play the ball out from the defensive third, but Arsenal collectively pressing very high, and Arsenal have won it back as Totti, high boot, right in front of Ødegaard, who looks to the assistant referee. He says play on. Totti did get to the ball, but it was a risky challenge. Now Wang wiggles away on the halfway line, and a lovely pass forward to Hugo Bueno, left hand edge of the area, two calling for it in the middle. Hugo Bueno to the dead ball line, chips in the cross, João Gomez far post, good header away by Kivior. That extra bit of height from Jakub Kivior, one of the reasons why he's in the Arsenal side today, just enough to flick it away from the arriving João Gomez. But Wolves continue to sporadically threaten in the first half. 0-0.
I like the way that Gary Neal's team play. When it's on, they'll play out from the back. When it's not, they'll play a little bit longer. They'll be a little bit more direct. They'll get the ball out wide. They'll get crosses into the box. I think he's got his team playing, considering they're very, very depleted. There's a great mix the way that his team plays.
Lovely crossfield ball by Trossard to find Saka. Saka again on the corner of the penalty area. Now they've doubled up on Bukayo Saka, Totti and Hugo Bueno, so Saka has to go back to wide. Lovely floated ball over the top to Saka, pulls it back from the edge of the 6-yard box, steered away by first Kilman, then Hugo Bueno, and then over the top from Doyle up to the halfway line. Some brilliant incisive passes from White in the first half, just delicately floated forward towards the likes of Saka. And now here he comes again, Ben White, in an attacking position, corner of the penalty area. Saka hugging the touchline now, near side, almost directly in front of us. Infield to Havertz. Havertz on the edge of the box, whips it crossfield to the far post. Gabriel Jesus, he's brought it down. Can he spin Doherty? He's gone down. He's still held on to it. And then the snapshot is in! Off the bar and in from Trossard! An Arsenal lead just before half-time! It floated beyond the goalkeeper off the boot of Leandro Trossard, and as it stands, Arsenal are going back to the top of the Premier League table. There's life in Arsenal yet. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1.
Need to see this again. I'm not 100% sure that he meant that. It seems to sort of come off his little toe as there's a swing and a swipe at it. Wolves players complaining about something. Not quite sure. They want the referee to check the VAR. I think they're looking for a little bit of a push at the far post. I'm not convinced on that one. I mean, it's a really strange finish. He swings right across it. It's like, it used to be like those Sabutio men with like a straight leg, and you put your hand on top of his leg. It looks, I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it looks like a kid in the park shooting with his wrong foot that's just got a straight leg, and he just slices it and spoons it into the top corner.
Well, sometimes, Danny, you can tell by the celebrations. Did he look a bit sheepish, maybe? Trossard, but either way, it's in off the very top of the post, in off the woodwork, and Arsenal lead by 1-0, and they are top of the Premier League as it stands, and that is all that Mikel Arteta will care about into 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half on TalkSport.
It's not how, it's how many you score. Yes. Simple as that. But it is, I mean, for anybody that wants to see it, that's one of those shots that's impossible to replicate. There's no chance that you can do that.
And so 33 games in a row against Wolves in which Arsenal have scored. Not failed to score against Wolves since 1979 in a game. Forward by Odegaard, angle to the left-hand side, and Jesus, they're looking to double their lead now. Saka's down, but Jesus is still on the attack, edge of the penalty area. Always played it behind Odegaard, and Chirua will pick it up for Wolves. Chirua quickly sees it seized upon by Odegaard, who scampers away from him with ease, and Arsenal with the added energy and impetus of having taken the lead at Molineux. Saka is still down on his knees. It's going to be popped out of play by Kivior, and Saka might need to be treated here, but Arsenal lead by 1-0, and the pendulum swing in the title race, of course. Manchester City and Liverpool would both have a game in hand as it stands, but Arsenal lead the way at the moment.
Just trying to see, he lands funny. That's never good. That's always a little bit of a worry. Every time an English player goes down at the moment, plays hearts in a mouth. I can see the sweat dripping off every single time, and an Englishman goes down thinking, oh no, please, not for the Euros. He's up on his feet though, that's the most important thing.
Well, I suppose those attacking areas are the areas where England are so well stocked, but
we've got 7 number 10s, 17 wingers.
And certainly
we just need a centre half and a left back.
Where do you get one of those? Saka's back on his feet. The Arsenal fans are waving red and white scarves up into the air. Perhaps Perhaps a little harsh on Wolves on the balance of play in terms of the first half, Danny?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much on his evening. Obviously Arsenal had more possession, but hadn't done too much with it. Wolves had created a really good couple of chances, but anybody listening will have to see this goal for themselves. It's almost impossible to describe it. It's almost like a kid's game where someone's had a swing and miss with their wrong foot and it's come off the outside of their foot and just ended up in the top corner somehow.
Here is Totti for Wolves, deep inside his own half under pressure from Saka, who's won it back by the corner flag. Quickly infield to Trossard, angle very tight, he's down by the dead ball line, converged upon by two Wolves players now, Hugo Bueno and Doyle, who goes in with a robust challenge. That's out of play for a goal kick. We have had the 3 added minutes at the end of the first half, and it was a very strange goal from Leandro Trossard. He sort of cut across the ball, swiped at it, unintentionally maybe, but it ended up flying into the top corner via the very top of the post, almost at the junction between post and bar.
It's the fact he kicks it with a straight leg.
Yes.
That's the most awkward, unusual, strange thing that I've seen.
But whether it was fortuitous or not, it's the goal that has Arsenal heading back to the top of the Premier League at half-time. Leandro Trossard in the final minute of normal time at the end of the first half to give Arsenal the lead. That after David Raya had made a stunning save to tip an effort from João Gomez onto the bar as Wolves looked threatening sporadically in the first half. But it's Arsenal who have the advantage, and they are seizing the moment to go back top as it stands. At the break on Talk Sport, it is Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. Nearly 500 minutes since Arsenal last conceded a goal away from home in the Premier League. That was to Nottingham Forest and Taiwo Awoniyi at the very end of January, the last day of January, and it is 1-0 to the Arsenal as the second half begins. Arsenal top of the Premier League as it stands, from right to left in their red and white, and Wolves, who've been spirited so far, are actually perhaps a little unlucky to be a goal down as the second half gets off and underway from left to right in the old gold and black. No changes at half-time. Wolves have Jose Sarr in goal, Santi Bueno, Kilman and Totti are the defenders, with Doherty and Hugo Bueno acting as wing-backs. There are three in midfield, Traore and João Gomez and Tommy Doyle, with the full debutant Chirua behind Wang up front. And for Arsenal, Raya is the goalkeeper, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kivior, Ødegaard, Rice and Havertz, with Jesus, Saka and Trossard the goal scorer, nominally in the forward positions. There was a strangeness about the opening goal, but Arsenal don't care. All they want at this stage of the season are wins.
The fact you reference 1-0 to the Arsenal song, you're older than you look, aren't you?
Yeah. I've heard it all before, Danny.
But that's been quite a long time since that used to be sung.
I think they still sing it, don't they? They must do, at the North Bank at the Emirates. Here is Gabriel, 10 yards shy of the halfway line for Arsenal. You're listening to Talk Sport, nearly 90 seconds into the second half here, on a day where Manchester City have reached another FA Cup final, Chelsea beaten at Wembley again, live on Talk Sport. Leicester have gone back top of the Championship after beating West Bromwich Albion in our lunchtime commentary. Burnley gave themselves some hope of Premier League survival, now 3 points from safety after a big win at Sheffield United on TalkSport 2. It was a great victory for Chelsea's women against Barcelona in the first leg of the Champions League semi-final. A tough day for Fleetwood and Port Vale, both relegated out of League One. Sutton virtually down in League Two. And now Wolves have possession midway inside their own half the field, a goal down against Arsenal, and Wolves might be forced into a substitution here momentarily. There's a player getting ready to come on. Down below is it's Lamina.
Yeah, it is.
And we'll see exactly the reasons for that change, but you imagine it is a potential fitness or injury issue again.
Well, he was told to keep warming up when they came out from half-time. So whether there was something that maybe somebody said during the half-time break to the manager, doesn't feel quite right, something's a little bit tight, just try and get through the first 5 minutes until we can get somebody warm and get them on the pitch.
Saka for Arsenal has slipped it forward to Ben White, dead ball line, he's dinked it back towards Trossard. Gabriel Jesus is there too. They were both blocked off by João Gomez, and then eventually the flag is up on the far side of the field and a free kick to Wolves anyway. good football from Arsenal, and White involved with a decent pullback. It's Trossard who's gone down, and the game is going to be stopped. Well, Trossard might need to be attended to here. Arsenal haven't sent on the physios yet.
Where's the offside?
Well, Danny's watching a replay on our little monitor in the commentary position here, and you're right, Danny, because I assume the flag went up against Ben White unless the assistant spotted a foul inside the penalty area. Didn't look like there was an Arsenal foul.
He's given offside.
Not sure why.
No, I'm not either. That's a strange one. Ben White was a couple of yards onside, wasn't he? He was way behind the play.
Yep. VAR would have checked it, of course. And Lemina getting some final instructions for Wolves, who are going to be forced into an early change at the very start of the first half here. Header on the near side by Doherty to find Hwang just in front of Gary O'Neill in the technical area. Floodlights on at Molineux, and the skies are a dark, almost midnight blue now. Getting darker and darker in the West Midlands with every passing minute. Jose Sarr to the left, and Totti, far side, scoops the ball, hooks the ball downfield towards the halfway line. Arsenal win it back, and now Havertz pokes it forward now towards Trossard, and Ødegaard from the edge of the area, rifles it goals, it's blocked, almost fell for Gabriel Jesus. Wolves managed to scramble it away. There was a real menace in Ødegaard there as he looked to bear down on goal. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1 it remains.
That's better from Arsenal, more direct. Got himself within 20 yards of the goal and thought, I'm going to have a shot. Simple as that.
Arsenal are heading back to the top of the Premier League, though of course Manchester City, who would be a point behind them, and Liverpool have both played a game fewer than Arsenal by the end of the night. Here is Gabriel, midway into opposition territory. Our commentary position just to the right of the halfway line, very front row of the upper tier, and the pitch is about 20-30 feet in front of us. Slide tackle by Hwang. Did he go over the top of the ball against Kivior? Kivior rolls around on the ground. Referee Paul Tierney gives a free kick.
I don't think it's that bad, but I think he could be in trouble here.
It'll be a yellow card out of the pocket of the referee for the South Korean Hee-chan Hwang.
It was mistimed, nothing more. But the way that VAR has gone and the way that the referees look at these things sometimes, it could be in a bit of trouble.
Well, perhaps there wasn't that much contact with Kivior ultimately.
Well, it never matters in this day and age.
And anyway, Hwang is going off. And on comes Lemina, Hee-chan Hwang, who's only just come back from a hamstring injury. So Wolves are now very much playing without a recognised striker. It's effectively, Danny, here, a 3-7 in terms of personnel, and I think it's the youngster, one of many youngsters in the Wolves squad tonight, Tawanda Chirua, who might be pushed furthest forward.
Well, it's this new formation, isn't it, of playing a false 9, a false 8 and a false 10. Gary O'Neill's been very inventive.
Oh, he's had to be this season, hasn't he? Hasn't he done well at Wolves too?
Oh, he's done magnificent. You know, from when he came in, a lot of Wolves fans were
5 days before the season started.
Yeah, a little bit underwhelmed. Couldn't get his players in. You know, that was always going to be an issue. The injury problems he's had to deal with, and let's be honest, some of the ludicrous decisions that have gone against them as well have been absolutely. Early on in the season, there was some of the worst VAR decisions I think we've ever seen, and they all seem to go against Wolves. He's done a fantastic job. We could just see him down on the touchline. He's coaching like he's on the pitch as a player.
But they trail here. Lovely reverse ball by Saka down the far side, the right to Trossard. Arsenal lead 1-0. Trossard gets beyond Boubacar Traoré, but not beyond Hugo Bueno, who got a crucial touch as Trossard potentially shaping to shoot. And Arsenal have a corner away on the far side in front of that two-tiered Stan Cunnish stand. And the Arsenal supporters in the lower tier at the far side of the field roar approval as Saka goes across to take the corner, and there are plenty of red and white shirts forward now. Arsenal looking to double their advantage in the game. Saka stands over it. White and Havertz and Kivior all lurking in and around the 6-yard box, and Saliba and Gabriel are up there too.
Needs to miss the first man.
1-0 Arsenal needs. Saka's ball, short corner to the edge of the penalty area in Jesus, and now it opens up on the edge of the box for Rice. Forward to Ødegaard. Snapshot blocked. Ødegaard can't reach the rebound. Wolves clear the ball away, only as far as the midway point of their own half, and Arsenal from right to left will come forward again. Saka, far side touchline, shaping to cut in field as is his trademark. Now Ødegaard on the corner of the box. Ødegaard, quick shuffling feet. Forward, a little flick by Jesus, who's trying to get it back from Saka. Cleared away, only as far as Trossard again on the edge of the box. And Saka can try and poke it through to Trossard again. Once more Wolves through Totti and Hugo Bueno. Just about hold on. But a second goal here for Arsenal will really put them very much in command, and Ben White is away on the far side, the right, a floated cross, Havertz back post, unable to meet it. Havertz thought he was being held, no penalty given. Mikel Arteta stands with his arms folded on the near side touchline. Early in the second half on TalkSport, it's 1-0 to Arsenal. Kivior is blocked off by João Gomez, little back heel to Doherty. Doherty sends the ball skywards towards the midway point of his own half, but Wolves have no outlet now. Saka forward to Havertz on the edge of the penalty area. Saka had been caught, and the referee did play the advantage, but eventually, rather sensibly, Paul Tierney brings it back. Free kick, shooting range. Here's Danny Mills.
Yeah, Trossard was caught first, and Paul Tierney allowed that one to continue, and then there's another foul 10 yards further forward on Bukayo Saka. So rightly so, he's given the one on Saka closer, shooting distance. Rice, it favours the right footer. It's very, very difficult, the angle for Ødegaard to hit this with his left foot. Rice is over it. Trossard is there, in and around it. You can generally tell who's going to strike it by who last puts their hand on the ball.
Right, and they've got four of them over it at the moment, Danny. Havertz, Ødegaard, Trossard and Rice. It favours a right-footed, doesn't it,
if it's going to be a direct shot on target, generally the taker wants to place the ball himself, because he'll be placing it so he hits a certain part of the ball.
Well, let's see what happens here for Arsenal. 9.5 minutes into the second half. You're listening to TalkSport, live and exclusive.
It might be something intricate.
No, they've got plenty forward here, Arsenal. Only Rice is standing over it, though. 3 men in the wall, gets it back from Ødegaard and shoots. It's blocked by Tommy Doyle. The ball scoops up into the air, and White, who nudges it back into the area. Havertz on the volley, straight at José Sá. He knows that was a chance, the German. Hands to his face, he spun, turned and shot, and luckily for Wolves it was straight at their goalkeeper. But Arsenal are having a very good spell. They've won it back again straight away. Jesus with a touch to Ødegaard, wriggles away from two, lays it square to Havertz on the edge of the D. Low shot is blocked this time. José Sá trying to prevent the corner. He does, he's had to kick it clear from inside his penalty area. Arsenal throw deep inside the Wolves half, and an Arsenal second goal here feels inevitable.
Well, they're certainly piling the pressure on. That technique from Havertz is absolutely outstanding. It drops over his shoulder, he catches it perfectly. The fact he catches it so well, it goes straight to the goalkeeper. If he miskicks it, it probably slides into the corner. Needs to have a word with Trossard.
Arsenal a point clear of Manchester City as it stands. Declan Rice left on the edge of the penalty area. Plays it squared in field. Ben White does try a low drive, and it's well wide in the end from a player who doesn't score a great many goals, though he did score Arsenal's 10,000th goal of all time against Sheffield United away from home as part of this brilliant run of form that Arsenal have been on the road.
That's going to be one of your bizarre quiz questions for somebody at Christmas or something, isn't it? Who scored Arsenal's 10,000th goal?
Well, you know now, Dan.
I do, yeah. I probably will forget. If I remember, I'll phone a friend.
Well, there's a reference from the past. It wasn't too far wide from White, but Wolves survive, and so far managing to keep the damage to just a single goal, though Arsenal really are the dominant force in the game now. As I say, a point clear of Manchester City at the top. Arsenal against Chelsea on Tuesday night live on TalkSport. At the same time, massive game in the Championship, Leicester against Southampton. Leicester closing in on promotion. Wednesday night, Everton against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby is on TalkSport, and Manchester United against Sheffield United on TalkSport 2, and lots more to come. Before all of that, Middlesbrough against Leeds in the Championship on Monday and tomorrow. Blackburn against Sheffield Wednesday on TalkSport 2, and TalkSport will bring you the other FA Cup semi-final between Manchester United and Coventry City, who will meet Manchester City in the FA Cup final. We are ticking towards the hour mark, and only one pattern of play in the game at the moment. All Arsenal, and Wolves, with no recognised striker, are struggling to cope.
Yeah, Wolves just can't really get out of their own half at the moment, and it's difficult for Gary O'Neill. Arsenal are really sort of starting to turn the screw. Possession, territory, creating half chances. Wolves are so deep, so many bodies behind the ball. Even like now when they win it, it's 1 versus 4 or 5. It's very, very difficult. It's offside.
Chirua over the top to Lamina, who had stepped too far forward.
it's very, very difficult for them to get out, and of course that just means wave after wave of attack.
It would be no win in 6 for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Gary O'Neill did say, in fairness, in the build-up to this game, that Hee-Chan Wang would only be able to play about 45 minutes, and so it has proven with the substitution early in the second half, but it has hurt Wolves. Jesus through the middle towards Havertz for Arsenal. Good interception by Santi Bueno, who rolls it back to the green-clad goalkeeper Jose Sarr. Quite a gap between the stands and the technical areas here. Gary O'Neill, a lone figure on the edge of his technical area. Mikel Arteta about 10 yards to the left. Arsenal lead by a goal to nil. Square pass by Havertz to Ødegaard. On to Saka now. Right hand edge of the penalty area. Saka trying to dart beyond Hugo Bueno. Right-footed delivery headed away by Matt Doherty for Wolves. Now Jesus picks up the loose ball for Arsenal. The angle against him into the area. Pokes it back to the edge of the box. Rice got the call to hold on to it, and then a deflected effort from Jesus, and then a hook clearance over his own shoulder by João Gomes. The header by Lemina. Wolves can't get a foothold. That's a foul by Lemina on Kivior.
No, I don't think it is. I think the referee stops because he thinks it's a head injury. I'm not sure he's going to give this as a foul. I don't think he should. I think it's just a coming together.
Well, Paul Tierney has certainly stopped the game, but I think it will be an Arsenal free kick, Danny, judging by the way that Ødegaard and Rice are standing over the ball. Wolves don't feel it should be given.
No, I don't. Both players challenge for the ball. They clash in the air. Simple as that. No malice. They're both looking at the ball. There's a bit of contact.
A couple of Gary O'Neill's assistants went across to have words with the fourth official. I think Ian Birchnall is the man down there speaking to the fourth official, but it won't change the decision. Free kick to Arsenal, midway inside the Wolves half, left of centre and about 15 yards in field. We have had nearly an hour at Molineux now, a ground where Arsenal generally have a very good record in the Premier League. Ødegaard, who's scored here before, stands over the free kick. Gabriel is among those forward. So too Kivior and Saliba. Hoisted in by Ødegaard, headed away in front of Havertz. Comes back towards Gabriel Jesus. Thundered clear by Traore for Wolves. High up into the air, but it's attack v defence virtually at the moment. Wolves cannot get hold of possession, and the high boot from João Gomes. A foul on Jesus this time. And again, it's a free kick to Arsenal, who are totally dominant in terms of possession, territory, and they lead 1-0.
I mean, it catches him just on the nose. He's gone down like Wilder's given him a right hook. He's floored. I mean,
but it is a free kick.
That's a free kick. But the problem we're getting is, right, what was supposed to happen is players get a little bit of time, and if they go off, they have to stay off the pitch for 30 seconds. All that's happening is they're staying down for 30, 40, 50 seconds on the pitch and delaying the game that way. We've just seen it. Two Arsenal players, they've not had, none of them had treatment. How hurt can you be?
Well, he's back up now.
Well, there you go. So he's just been kicked in the face. He's not that hurt because he's got up and carried on.
Well, it is a debate, and Arsenal took the free kick with Rice out to the wide right position and Saka.
Either you want treatment immediately or you don't. That's the way it should be.
And there was a delay, and here is Ødegaard from 25 yards, low shot, well wide. Arsenal have got to be careful with all of the dominance that they have shown, that they don't potentially leave themselves vulnerable. It's Wolves 0, Arsenal 1 on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Wolves against Arsenal live right now, contract free with the Now membership. Search Now Sports. The subs benches: Arsenal, Ramsdale, Partey, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Nketiah, Jorginho, Vieira, Nelson and Zinchenko. And for Wolves, the remaining subs: Bentley, Aït-Nouri and Sarabia are the senior players. Then teenagers: Holtman, Barnett, Ojinaka, Nathan Fraser and Wes Okudua, 15 years of age, on the Wolves bench tonight.
The only problem that Arsenal might have is when you're so dominant, concentration becomes an issue. You become a little bit complacent, thinking, okay, we don't have to worry about Wolves going forward. We don't have to worry about anything because there's no real threat. And all of a sudden, bang, you can find yourselves at 1-1.
Now Hugo Bueno's gone down in what is rapidly becoming a stop-start second half. Referee goes across towards the far side. The Steve Bull stand to the ground. 4 separate stands here at Molineux. The two sides are relatively similar, but the ends are quite distinct. And away to our right, the end towards which Wolves are attacking in the second half, that single-tiered stand. There are Wolves fans jumping up and down, trying to create an atmosphere, and clearly well aware that the team on the field are giving everything that they've got. Wolves who have still got to play Manchester City and Liverpool away from home. Who knows, they could have a say in the title race yet, even tonight. But it's Arsenal who lead 1-0. 63 minutes gone. Arsenal now with Trossard in the left wing position. Kivior on the overlap. Trossard nudges it infield into the penalty area. Stretching to send it clear is Santi Bueno. And then down by the corner flag, João Gomes does very well. Deft touch, silky footwork to poke it off the shin of Trossard. And when Wolves a goal kick. Gary O'Neill, he's in his technical area again, down the issuing instructions. How do Wolves try and get a foothold in the game?
It's very, very difficult. You know, Arsenal are player for player better. You know, as simple as that. So it's got to remain compact. It's got to keep working hard, keep their concentration, stay in the game, and hope they get that one chance, a couple of half chances where it might be a set piece or a breakaway, something like that. It's difficult. But what I like about him
is Arsenal break down the right with Saka down by the dead ball line, cuts it back to Ødegaard. Managing not to really find any space on the edge of the penalty area. Wolves have crowded them out, but a heavy touch from Traoré has seen Rice win it back. He's dinked it over the top to Ben White with a first time cross, and right on the dead ball line. Had to be very cute with that attempted delivery, and it's gone into the side netting. Danny,
he coaches like he's a player on the sidelines. He runs up, he runs up like the technical area to put the squeeze on, and then he'll put his hands out and sort of put everybody stop. He gesticulates very, very well in what he's trying to get across, and that's clearly, for such a young manager, getting that across to his players. I think he's done exceptionally well.
He's watching on here with his team, still in the game, and only a goal to nil down. João Gomes on the halfway line.
Just watch his hand movements. You can almost, it's almost like he's out there playing midfield and sat in there and directing, pointing, telling his players what to do.
Two midfielders who will have played together in their time as Premier League players in the past, Arteta and O'Neill.
Look at what, they probably can't hear a thing or see anything that he's doing.
Long ball over the top by Doyle, and then Saliba and Chirua tangled. Chirua, I think, was the first to go to ground, maybe a tangle of legs, nothing given by the referee. The Bournemouth boss, Andoni Iraola, is among the watching spectators. Wolves host Bournemouth here on Wednesday evening. That'll be live on the TalkSport app. By the way, Thursday we'll bring you Manchester City's next game away at Brighton. That's live on TalkSport. So Arsenal could, in theory, if they win tonight and they win again on Tuesday against Chelsea live on TalkSport, they could establish a 4-point lead over Manchester City, though of course Liverpool have got games to play as well.
But that's what they have to do. I played in games when we were involved in UEFA Cup Thursday nights, Thursday Sundays, and Champions Leagues, or either season of that, where there is always a discrepancy of when teams play, and you're playing catch up or you're ahead, and it's difficult. All you can do is keep winning and put pressure on the opposition.
Wolves nil, Arsenal 1 it remains, and for once we're looking to our right hand side where the Arsenal goal is. Arsenal
I feel a bit lost.
Kivior from the left back position. It's been all Arsenal from right to left, but Wolves are combative and working very hard, and actually very well coached by O'Neill. Look how diligent Wolves are off the ball.
But when you don't kill the game off, when you don't score that second goal, you're always vulnerable.
And here come Wolves with Lamina, right wing position. Arsenal with plenty of red and white shirts back behind the ball. We'll give the latest odds from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage right now. Wolves 60-1 to win, the draw 17-2, Arsenal 14-1 on to win. And Betfair are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. That applies to match odds 90 market, or markets with the 90 icon. Wolves with goalkeeper Jose Sarr very nearly giving it away, trying to play out from the back towards Havertz. And luckily for him, Santi Bueno, who's been excellent, came across to sweep it clear. Santi Bueno, who was in the Barcelona academy but never played a senior game for them, and now Wolves have needlessly conceded a throw inside their own half of the field, deep inside their own half, and in an attacking position for Arsenal. I wonder whether Wolves are going to think about bringing on Ryan Aït-Nouri shortly. He's warming up, and Arsenal have got 3 warming up on the near side. Havertz touches the ball back to Trossard, edge of the penalty area. He twists, he turns, he lays it off to Declan Rice. Back wide to Jesus. Neat, intricate football. Havertz with a heavy cross, left-footed to the back post, and not even White can reach it. It's retrieved by Traore after all of that rather refined build-up from Arsenal. Too much on the cross from Havertz.
That's exactly what it is, refined. And they're trying to score the perfect goal. Yeah. Again, very like we see Manchester City do from time to time. And, you know, if it's not perfect, you don't score. And when the defence is absolutely packed, like we saw Real Madrid do to Manchester City, doesn't matter how many half chances you create, how much possession you have, if you're not perfect, you don't score those goals, and that can be very, very difficult.
And we're quickly into the final quarter of the game. 68 and a half minutes. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1 it remains. Leandro Trossard with the goal at the very end of normal time in the first half. In off the woodwork to give Arsenal the lead. Wolves have threatened once seriously, but it was 0-0. João Gomez forced a great save out of Raya. A reminder of Faye's charity bet builder. That's for Arsenal to win, both teams to score, and Saka to score at any time. If that comes off, winnings will go to the Bobby Moore Fund. Here come Wolves now with João Gomez, 10 yards into Arsenal territory, up the middle without any great conviction, but he's laid it square to the left. Hugo Bueno now for Wolves, 10 yards from the corner of the area, couple of step overs, drives in the cross, blocked off by White. Arsenal can't clear it, over his shoulder from Chirua, gathered by David Raya on the edge of the 6-yard area. And that's all thanks, by the way, the bet builder to Betfair, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. You can just feel that the Wolves fans still believe, but here come Arsenal with Gabriel Jesus, halfway line, back to goal, right in front of Mikel Arteta, shrugged aside by Kilman, no free kick given.
I've played in games like this, you know, and you get to the point you say, stay in the game, do not go 2-0 down, you know, let's not it be over. Give yourselves a chance, even if you're hanging on for dear life, making blocks, clearances, no matter what it might be. Stay in the game and you'll get that. You will get a chance at some point, whether you can take it or not.
3 without a win for Arsenal, and 5 without a win for Wolves in all competitions, but they've only failed to score in one of their last 26 home games in all competitions. So at Molineux, generally they find the back of the net. Kilman, inside right channel pass, slider or ball to Lemina. Lemina cuts inside, Gabriel shoots! Gathered by Raya at the near post. It was a rasping left-footed drive, but not enough behind it to seriously test Arsenal's goalkeeper. And Raya with a brilliant clearance, floated over the halfway line down the right to Saka. Arsenal have got men streaming forward now in red and white. Saka to the edge of the area, and here's Ben White. He's clear! White is denied by Jose Sarr, and the offside flag belatedly goes up anyway. Ben White, who did miss key chances, or a key chance in the first leg in the Champions League against Bayern, denied by Sarr, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. And here comes Gabriel Martinelli to replace Trossard for Arsenal.
To be fair, that's why he's a fullback. Fullbacks aren't meant to score goals like that.
Would you know, Danny?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, I would, yes. There's a reason you're a defender.
Or right back, Danny Mills.
There's a reason you're a defender, because you're not good enough to be a centre forward or an attacker. We'd all love to be scoring goals all the time, but actually we're not. We're better at doing something else, or not as good as other people.
Well, off goes Trossard for Martinelli, a straight swap, of course, for Arsenal. And Wolves, who are having to manage fitness of key players, they are going to get a more forward-thinking player on shortly, Sarabia. And I think they'll bring on Aït-Nouri as well, so that will bring some seniority to the Wolves ranks with less than 19 minutes of normal time to go. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal are top of the Premier League as it stands, albeit they played a game more than Manchester City and Liverpool. Arsenal 74 points from 33 as it stands. Man City 73 from 32. Liverpool 71 from 32. Liverpool away at Fulham tomorrow. Manchester City back in Premier League action on Thursday at Brighton and Hove Albion. That's live on Talk Sport. Here is Lemina looking to tear down the near side, the right for Wolves. Back it goes to Doherty. Crossfield right to left. Hugo Bueno left of the centre circle under pressure from Saka. Had to pop it back to Totti. Arsenal continue their run at the moment without conceding an away goal. Well over 500 minutes of football now. And here is Kilman for Wolves, who in attack have been quite pedestrian, but maybe that's understandable given the lack of options up front. Nobody looks convincing for Wolves through the middle because there isn't a centre forward on the pitch. It's as simple as that. And even Sarabia really is not a number 9, but he is a more forward-thinking player. He's about to come on with Aït-Nouri. Doyle in the centre circle on loan from Manchester City. Square ball to Kilman. Wolves on the attack. 17 minutes left, plus added time. Arsenal fans watch on nervously on the far side of the field. Mikel Arteta with his arms folded. This game is not done yet because it's only 1-0. Here is Doyle for Wolves again. He's about 40 yards out, more than that, long way from goal. Arsenal with everybody back behind the ball at the moment. Doherty, infield from the right, poor pass, intercepted by Gabriel Jesus, who will roll it back to Kivior. Kivior just having to be careful. Back pass to Raya. Raya classes the ball high up into the dark evening sky. Clever flick by Havertz under pressure from Santi Bueno, but Totti's there to mop up in front of Bukayo Saka. Wolves finally in the second half having a good spell of possession.
Yeah, they are. They're starting to dominate. Just get a little feel for it.
Doyle has crossed the halfway line. You can hear the Wolves fans packed in behind us to the left and right in the commentary position, and indeed in the lower tier below us as well. Kilman on the halfway line. Square ball to Totti. The Sports Bar Weekender comes once we're done here. 03717 223344 to speak to Adam Cattrall and Bioac in Fenwa. Make sure you download our TalkSport app as well between now and the end of the season. The swipe between the stations at your leisure. Here's Doherty, right hand edge of the area, deflected cross off Kivior. It's a Wolverhampton Wanderers corner away to our right.
I tell you, I think he's done well. Doyle has done very well in the centre of the midfield in that holding role. Young player, has never shied away from anything. He's looked to get on the ball. He's made things happen. He's made things tick.
Here come the changes, and it's the end of his first Wolves start for Tawanda Chirua, who gets a standing ovation, replaced by the much more experienced Spaniard Sarabia, and Aït-Nouri, who's been luckless with injury recently as well, is going to replace Matt Doherty. So, as I say, a bit more seniority in the Wolves ranks, and here comes Sarabia across to take the corner. First touch in front of that bank of Wolves fans, the massed thousands behind the goal to the right. Here at Molineux, Arsenal lead by a goal to nil. There are 15 minutes left. It's Sarabia with the in-swing delivery into the 6-yard box, hit it away in front of Santi Bueno. It's dropped down to Traoré on the edge of the D. Traoré with a rasping shot. It's well wide in the end. He was off balance when he hit it.
Well wide and a bit further, unfortunately. He was leaning backwards, never really got his foot wrapped around it. Plenty of power, but yeah, 25 yards wide in the end.
Big wins in the Premier League today for Brentford at Luton, who are still in the bottom three. Burnley, who are they mounting a great escape? 4-1 at Sheffield United. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0 in the FA Cup semi-final. Bernardo Silva with the goal. Great day for Leicester in the Championship. Tough day for Fleetwood and Port Vale, relegated out of League One. And Chelsea's women beat Barcelona in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final. Arsenal are going top of the Premier League as it stands, with Kai Havertz in possession. Square ball to the on-rushing Rice. He's 10 yards forward at the centre circle. Quickly on to Saka. Arsenal moving it quickly. Corner of the area. Saka's cross. Havertz with a header. Blocked off. Chested down by Kilman, who's able to hammer it away right-footed. Up to the near side of the field. Martinelli. Neat little touch back to Declan Rice. Rice with great authority feeds Martinelli again. Scampers infield and then overhits his crossfield ball left to right, but White will trot across and keep it in play in front of the Arsenal fans. And now here is Rice and Saliba with all of their composure and poise for Arsenal inside the centre circle, and into now the last 13 minutes plus added time. Saliba in the centre circle again. Square ball out to White, who hoists it high down the right wing position. Headed infield by Saka. Kilman's there with the interceptor captain. Back to Jose Sarr. It bobbled in front of him, that back pass to the goalkeeper. A slice clearance high up into the sky. Arsenal there to retrieve possession back. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Interestingly, Danny Mills, there is a bit of jeopardy in the game, but if Arsenal get the second, that will be that.
And that's what they've got to do. I talked about that earlier. If you don't kill the game off, if you don't get that second goal, you're always vulnerable to a mistake, a poor refereeing decision, a wonder goal. Anything like that can happen. You know, it's very, very dangerous to keep this at 1-0.
Ødegaard through to Gabriel Jesus. He's blocked off by Kilman. Good work by Kilman.
Fabulous tackle. Read it brilliantly.
Just as Jesus was about to shoot. And now Doyle over the halfway down on the counter for Wolves. He feeds Lemina. Lemina is 35 yards from goal. Dead centre. On now to João Gomes. Sarabia's in the middle. Tommy Doyle will swing in the cross too close to Raya, who gathers inside the 6-yard box. Well, that Wolves attack even had our West Brom supporting producer a little excited for a second there.
It's a really good move. It comes out to Doyle, and he's cross lacks conviction, and in the end he just sort of like stabs it into Raya.
Yeah,
I think he's thinking about shooting or crossing it, and in the end does neither, and it's very, very comfortable for Raya.
It does sum up Wolves on the attack today, though. We mustn't forget the super save that Raya made in the first half to deny João Gomes. Forward by Kivior up the left, intercepted by Ryan Aït-Nouri, who charges forward, being tugged back by Havertz, but Aït-Nouri has run 40 yards to the corner of the penalty area here. He's beyond Kivior too. He scampered into the 6-yard box. In the end, his touch was a little too heavy. Gabriel shepherded it behind. Gabriel, understandably furious, looking at Havertz and telling him he should do much better in so many words, because Aït-Nouri there, Danny, went from just shy of the halfway line to the corner of the 6-yard box.
I thought we were going to see an absolute wonder goal for a moment. Absolutely superb. I thought we were going to see it with that beard. I was waiting for a Ricky Villa moment, you know, chopping one way then the other. It is FA Cup day after all.
It is, as Gabriel Jesus goes off, and here comes Thomas Partey.
Well, that's just shoring things up, isn't it? That's just going, you know what, we're under a little bit of pressure. I just want to make sure that we do not concede in this game.
Jesus, who started in the central area but has rotated. Here comes Partey, affected this season, of course, because of thigh and hamstring injuries, but he will take his place in front of the Arsenal back four. A high five from the captain, Ødegaard. And it's evenings like this where sometimes Premier League title wins are made, difficult matches which Arsenal have to try and get through in the 6 remaining games, including this one, if they are to beat Manchester City and Liverpool to the title. Of course, City will still have it in their hands, but Arsenal will be a point clear at the top as it stands.
Well, no one remembers how teams played in the last 5-6 games of the season.
Yep.
They'll remember the results, they'll remember the wonder goals. We all remember Vincent Kompany scoring an absolute wonder goal against Leicester. City were poor in that game and really struggling. It took, Vincent Kompany with an absolute screamer, to win that for them. So at this stage of the season, it's not about performances so much. It's just about getting results, grinding it out. Players are tired. They are starting to get fatigued at this stage of the season. Equally, obviously, for both teams. So you just have to get through it, get that win.
Saliba back to David Raya, who clears the ball out towards the left-back position. It evades both Kivior and Martinelli. Wolves win a throw right in front of the home dugout, just to the right of the halfway line. Arsenal looking to become the first team since the 2014-15 season to keep 6 successive clean sheets away from home in the Premier League. They lead by a goal to nil to Arsenal in the 82nd minute. Can barely afford any slip-ups now in the Premier League title race. The Wolves goal here would have big consequences. Kilman's ball right through the middle along the ground, intercepted by Gabriel before it could reach Sarabia.
And this is what happens, because Wolves have hung in, because they've dug in, they've rode their luck on 2 or 3 occasions. Suddenly now they're thinking, right, last 10 minutes, we can go for it. We don't mind if we lose 2-0, but actually let's have a real good go now and get back in the game.
And Gary O'Neill, I think, has been clever with the way that he's managed the injury issues that they've got, the timing of the substitutions. Here is the sub, Aït-Nouri. Great control on his chest. Right-hand side, he's trying to tear beyond Kivior. Kivior does well.
Should be a foul.
You think? Free kick? Nothing given by the officials. Assistant was right next to it. He was a yard away.
And he pointed at the ball, but Kivior had hold of his shoulder and just pulled him back a little bit.
Gary O'Neill very demonstrative in his technical area, but he's not haranguing the officials. He just wants to see even more from his Wolves play.
I think he's given up with officials this season, if I'm honest.
Well, there have been some very contentious and tough VAR
What's he had, about
calls.
7 apologies?
I've lost count. I bet he's lost count as well.
It has been ridiculous, isn't it?
Headed down by Sarabia, scooped up into the air by Kivior for Arsenal. Odegaard goes down. Was he fouled by Traoré? No, says the referee. Traoré has beaten Rice in the air, and now Arsenal having to sprint back defensively. Odegaard made a tackle, and that was a foul. Number 8 on number 8. Odegaard on João Gomez. Free kick Wolves, 10 yards inside the Arsenal half. Wolves a goal down, 1-0 down. 7 minutes plus added time left on TalkSport.
But this is where Arsenal will start to get nervous. Suddenly now Wolves have the opportunity to throw the ball into the box. Again, you just need a second ball, a mistake, someone just drops, hits it. Who knows? Arsenal have got to keep their concentration.
Free kick taken short to Sarabia, who whips it in high, left-footed. Good goalkeeping by David Raya. With Wolves' old gold shirts converging upon him. One of them was Lemina, who's landed very awkwardly here, I think, and he's hurt Lemina. David Raya, through the crowd, was able to claim Lemina. Has he landed on that right shoulder?
No, I think David Raya comes through. It doesn't come through the back of him. He comes sort of over the top of him. There's a little bit of a collision in there, and then I think as he twists, then he lands awkwardly. But again, I think the goalkeeper's got every right to come for that.
He's been very good, David Raya, today. Nobody has kept more clean sheets in the Premier League than him this season. As Lemina is treated, there'll be quite a bit of added time, you would think, come the end of the game here. Not too many heading for the exits. I always say, Danny Mills, never leave before the end, because we see so many late goals in the Premier League this season.
Well, sadly, a lot of people do. I'm sure they're probably watching it on their phones as they leave to get in the car and get away from the traffic.
That's not the saying, is it?
Yes, no, I completely agree. We won't be leaving before the end, will we?
I don't think so. There'll be great worry to our right and the producer if we do just get up.
Oh no, he can do what I do. He can take over. No one would notice. Well, they probably would actually. They go, oh, this fella's a bit better.
Well, it's always a great privilege to be at Molineux, and a Premier League fixture like this with real importance at the top end of the table. Lemina very gingerly gets to his feet, and Raya sportingly hand on the back, and Lemina moving very awkwardly here, and it doesn't look like he'll be able to carry on the way this is going.
It's when you get that knee, leg in your back, it can be really sore, bottom of your back, just above your bum. It can be, it can tighten up very, very quickly and go into spasm.
Well, Lemina limping up to his feet. More live football tomorrow on TalkSport 2 from tomorrow lunchtime. Blackburn against Sheffield Wednesday. Massive game in the Championship relegation battle. Make sure you download the TalkSport app. That's one of the best ways to get hold of TalkSport 2, and on DAB and DAB Plus as well. And at 3:30, Coventry against Manchester United for the right to face Manchester City in the FA Cup final. That's on TalkSport. Arsenal against Chelsea on Tuesday. The Merseyside derby on Wednesday. Manchester City at Brighton on Thursday. All on TalkSport. Lemina is off the field. Wolves temporarily down to 10. Lemina's jogging now. I think he's going to try and come back on in a minute. Raya hoists the ball downfield for Arsenal, who lead 1-0 and are heading top. 86 minutes played. The clearance by Kilman for Wolves. Up to the halfway line. Good diligent defending by Gabriel. And then the back pass from Martinelli is controlled expertly by Raya, who then slices his clearance left-footed from outside his own box. Lemina's back on the field. Wolves throw in front of the ever hopping up and down the head coach Gary O'Neill.
That clearance from David Raya was a little bit like Trossard's goal, wasn't it?
Yes.
A straight-legged slice.
It was a strange goal, but it's the one that has given Arsenal the lead. And that's all that matters, especially at this stage of the season. But Tommy Doyle with a poor cross for Wolves. Way overhit from right of centre, midway into the Arsenal half. He's got a very good right foot. We saw that in the Championship on loan at Sheffield United this season. Here he is in the Premier League this time. And for Wolves not to even put that into any sort of threatening area, even if they don't have an out-and-out centre forward on the pitch, that'll be really disappointing for them.
The angle was wrong. He needed to get wider to put that cross in, so he's tried to hit it with real whip and a little bit of dip as well. It's just overhit it. It's gone straight out of play.
Well, Arsenal, if they win here, would take their away form to Tottenham. That would be their next away game. Arsenal, who haven't conceded away from home in the Premier League since the end of January. They lead 1-0 at Wolves. And Santi Bueno with a touch in the challenge, the aerial challenge with Havertz, and the last touch off the Arsenal man. Arteta, arms outstretched, likewise his assistant Albert Staubenberg, and a free kick has been given to Wolves, in fact, for a foul by Havertz leaning with his arm. Wolves have possession with Doyle, midway inside his own half the field. Very spirited Wolves display, but it may not be enough, even for a point. João Gomes, up the near side to the right. Remember, Arsenal need to win to go back top. A draw would not be enough. Here's Martinelli for them. Midway inside his own half, ball bobbling up in front of him. Thomas Partey brought it down, and Martinelli was fouled anyway. 2 minutes plus added time to go. Arsenal just trying to see out the victory now.
Yeah, they are. I wouldn't surprise me if there's 6 or 7 minutes though goes up. At the end, there's been several players go down with injuries, quite a lot of substitutions.
Maybe Wolves hope there will be one last chance in it for them, but Arsenal have had good control over the game for most of it. There are supporters, home fans leaving Molineux, and the Arsenal supporters are waving red and white scarves above their heads again now. David Raya's clearance high, swinging up the left wing position, headed away by Kilman for Wolves. Now Ait-Nouri, all left foot in the right wing back spot, does well to win a throw off Bukayo Saka. Sports Bar Weekender coming next on TalkSport. 03717 223344. Once we're done here, one of more than 60 games on the TalkSport network in the month of April. David Raya, the Arsenal goalkeeper, crossfield on the diagonal, lovely pass to Martinelli. Martinelli is tackled by Ait-Nouri at the expense of another Arsenal throw. Kivior tattoos down his left arm, will get ready to take it, but at no great rush, understandably. 45 seconds of normal time left at the end of the game here at Molineux. Gary O'Neill again, waving his arms up into the air, wants the referee to get on with it, I think, here. Arsenal delaying the taking of the throw.
Why is not?
Well, momentarily there, Havertz was off the field. Not sure if there was a problem with Havertz. Anyway, long throw up the near side, the left wing touchline by Kivior for Arsenal. Cleared away, swept away by Kilman, and it's another Arsenal throw as we head towards added time. The fourth official has got that electronic board up to our left. We are to the right of the halfway line today, and Declan Rice has got it down by the corner flag and wins Arsenal a throw. 6 added minutes, you were spot on there.
6 minutes added time. 6 minutes.
I did gamble at 6 or 7.
Well, you did it. Kivior will take the throw for Arsenal, shaping to go long here into the penalty area. The long throw towards Havertz, headed away by Kilman, flicked further clear by Sarabia for Wolves. Then a glancing touch from Lemina, good interception by Gabriel, and then he does brilliantly to get in front of Lemina. He's wrestled into the ground. It's a clear tactical foul. Free kick to Wolves. Gary O'Neill
why is that not a booking?
Well, I think it probably should have been. It was a tactical foul by Gabriel, and Gary O'Neill was almost on the edge of Mikel Arteta's area.
I thought he was going to take the free kick. I thought he was going to do a Mourinho walk on the pitch for a minute.
He thought it was a 50-50 challenge. 1-0 Arsenal lead. We are 47 seconds through 6 added at the end of the 90.
But I think when you speak to Gary O'Neill at the end and you ask him, he'll say, we went 1-0 down to a fluke goal.
Here comes Saka though, he's won it back for Arsenal, he's into the area, lovely feed from Saka! Brilliant run, but then lacking was the finish. Saka from a very tight angle after a mesmeric run beyond 3 or 4 in the old gold shirts of Wolves, but from a very tight angle, and on that right foot, he hit it way over the bar.
Yeah, great run, but onto his weaker right foot, scooped it way over the bar. But to come back to Gary O'Neill, I think he will say that after going 1-0 down to a free goal, the tactics have been pretty much spot on.
Wolves have given it straight to Declan Rice, dead ball line back across and steered behind by Totti, facing his own goal. Could very easily have been an own goal, and Arsenal could really have wrapped it up there. They have a corner, a minute and 45 seconds into 6 added, Arsenal leading 1-0.
Yeah, there'll be no hurry to take this. Bukayo Saka will take as long as he possibly can to get over there and take this corner.
Well, there are big gaps now for Wolverhampton Wanderers, trying to throw players forward in search of an equaliser. Arsenal have sent everybody virtually forward for the corner, in part because Wolves have brought everybody back, I think.
There's still 3 Arsenal players on the edge of the box, isn't there? no Wolves player within 10-15 yards of them.
Saka takes the corner short to Ødegaard, and then he gets it back. Saka charged into the box, lays it back to Rice, saved by the goalkeeper. Firm right-footed effort by Rice, palmed away by Jose Sarr. With a cushion header by White to his immediate right, and Bukayo Saka with a low drive, 25 yards out. That's blocked by Totti. Wolves are tiring now. They are almost out of gas here, Wolverhampton Wanderers. 2.5 minutes into the sixth added. Arsenal lead 1-0, and Arsenal looking very comfortable really as we go through stoppage time. Kiwior thumps the ball down the middle. Kilman gets across, tireless.
He's played well, Kilman. Kilman's played well. In fact, they've all played pretty well, in all honesty. I said they are just running out of a little bit of legs, and maybe they haven't just had that little bit of quality that they needed to get back into the game.
Arsenal are nearly there. They are nearly back to the top of the Premier League. Kiwior through up the middle to Havertz. Little glancing touch back to Rice. On to Martinelli. Martinelli, great pace into the area. Good save, Jose Sarr. How did he keep that out with his top hand stretching? Martinelli tried to go across the goalkeeper from very close range, and Sarr clawed it away. And now Wolves on the counter. Look up the middle for the dangerous Sarabia. Saliba didn't know where Sarabia was there, but he gets a return ball back from David Raya. 3.5 through the six added. Arsenal 1-0 up. They should have scored more.
But we said this all along, didn't we? If you're not clinical, if you don't get that second goal, you're always susceptible, always liable at the other end to anything that can happen. There's still 2-3 minutes to go in this game. Arsenal have got to make sure they kill this game off and get the 3 points no matter what.
Here is Partey, midway inside his own half of the field. 2 minutes to go. Saliba at quite a quick pace down the middle to Declan Rice. He's broken between the lines. Rice starting forward on his own up to the edge of the area, and he finds Kai Havertz onto Martin Ødegaard, cuts it back, it's blocked. Ødegaard again scores. The captain finishes it off, and Arsenal are back on top of the Premier League table. Martin Ødegaard there from a tight angle beyond the goalkeeper. Wolves have played well, but Arsenal have had just too much, and there really is life in the Premier League title race yet. Arsenal have bounced back from Champions League disappointments, and they lead at Wolves by 2-0.
Outstanding finish from the tightest of angles. Absolutely magnificent, but what a break from Declan Rice. He burst through the middle of the pitch, and then he was composed. He picked the right pass, drove into the box, attracted players, played the ball into Havertz, who slipped it in to Ødegaard. The first shot was blocked, but as the rebound came back to him, he was pretty much on the touchline. Oh, and he's had to just sort of scoop it and bend it with his left foot. A really tight angle. It's a great finish. Fabulous composure.
Very clever depth finish.
Sneaks it in at the near post. Gives the goalkeeper no chance. People will ask questions. How does he get beat at his near post? It's a deflection in the first place. You can't expect that.
He had about half a yard of space, didn't he there, Ødegaard, from an extremely tight angle, and Arsenal are 2-0 up.
Job done for Arsenal.
It will be. 30 seconds to go.
2-0 to the Arsenal now. There's a new song.
Or maybe we'll be, they're chanting, we are top of the league, the Arsenal fans. And Mikel Arteta with a big beaming smile down below us on the touchline, and you can understand why. Arsenal, with nearly those 600 minutes played, out of the Champions League in midweek, such desperate disappointments away at Bayern Munich in Germany, after Arsenal went into that game with real hopes of making the Champions League semi-finals. They were beaten prior to that by Aston Villa in the Premier League. The question today was, could they respond? And even though Manchester City and Liverpool have games in hand, could Arsenal go back top? And the answer on the day here, on the night at Molineux, has ultimately been an emphatic one from Arsenal.
And you're right, they've now got...
And Declan Rice has played it through via deflection. Gabriel Martinelli is clear into the area. Martinelli straight at Sarr. Wasteful.
Still think that might have been offside.
But it doesn't matter, because Arsenal have won by 2-0. This remarkable record in the Premier League away from home goes on for Mikel Arteta's team. But most importantly, after going out of the Champions League on Wednesday night, fast forward 72 hours or so, and Arsenal are back on top of the Premier League. 2-0 winners here at Wolverhampton Wanderers, with a goal in each half. Both both very late at the end of each half. Trossard the first day, sliced shot in off the woodwork to make it 1-0 after earlier David Raya had made a brilliant save from João Gomez when it was still goalless, and then right at the very end Martin Ødegaard rounding things off. So while Manchester City and Liverpool do have games in hand and City remain in the driving seat, it's Arsenal who are back a point clear at the top of the Premier League as they seek a first title for 20 years. It has finished. Wolves 0, Arsenal 2.